Hello, we are now in question number 1 of the IT passport exam from PhilNITS. For this question, we are being asked if we have a set of squares like this, what would be the decimal number equivalent? The way to solve this is to look first at the examples. This one we have 2, 5, 10, and 21 as examples of sets of sequences of squares. The other thing that the question is telling us is that each square could either be a black or white, which reminds us of a binary system where you got ones and zeros. Now, a binary system, if you think about ones and zeros, you begin to question how do you get 5 from ones and zeros, right? And the way it does it is by using a sequence of squares, a sequence of ones and zeros, so that we can get the whole set of decimal numbers. Right here, I have here an example of what I've written, which is a table where you got the columns like this, and if there's a 1 in any of the columns, we get a decimal value like 2. If we start off first with the rightmost column, and if we set it to 0, then the decimal value would be 0. But if we put number 1 here for the rightmost first column, then that is equivalent to a 1. So if we want to get 2, we need to move to the next column. The next column, the decimal value, if it's 1, is 2. Now, because we want only 2, we need to put a 0 on the first column and a 1 on the second column. And in that way, we get a 2. If we wanted to get 3, then we would have to put 1 on the first column too, which means that we get something like 1 plus 2 for the first and the second column to get 3. If we move on to the next set of binary numbers in the sequence, we can arrive with 4, 8, and 16 accordingly for each of the squares that are in the examples. Therefore, if we want to get 5, we need to put a 1 on the first column on the rightmost, and also the third column, because the third column, its decimal value is 4. And so if we have 4 and 1 together and we add them, we get number 5. That's the decimal number 5. Okay, so for our question here, we want to know if the leftmost and the one to its right, if they are ones, then what would be the decimal value equivalent? If we move toward the leftmost, we can see that the leftmost would have a decimal value that is 16, and to its right it's 8. Therefore, if we add one here on the leftmost and one on the one on its right, the decimal value equivalent would be 16 plus 8, which amounts to 24, and 24 is actually letter C, and it is the correct answer.